Hey, we're finally here. Merry Christmas. It's December 13th, Friday the 13th, Jason's birthday. Basically, hello and YouTube land. Yes, Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th, back in the day was pretty cool. Now it's just another day. Back in the day, there was a lot of parties, a lot of drugs. You had fun Friday the 13th. Wasn't about, maybe you and your friends went to the mountains and did a sleepover at a cabin or at a tent or went to the beach and spent the night on the beach and it got messed up. Basically, everybody brought beer, and just drunk a lot, but now, since the advent of, you know, cell phones and mass communications, people don't do that anymore. You get to release that energy with your friends back in the day. Like go to the mountains, pitch a tent, drink all night, be around a campfire, be in the forest, be outdoors, you went away. Now, they don't do that. Um, basically, the society has changed. But anyhow, hopefully um, let's see, the December 13th is a good one. We have lots of prizes we're going to give away today. Hopefully, our whole hour is not going to be boring like it was yesterday. But there's hot topics, like our boy in Ukraine, man. Ukraine is a sticky situation for the United States and its adversaries in the European Union. I hate going over, Zelensky, but Zelensky, boy, just give up. Just give up to Putin. You're not going to win that. You can't win. It's like Africa winning the war or logistics over China when they come in and start building stuff. And, sometimes China uses unfair practices in, projects, but hey, but at least the road got built. No one else didn't want to build it, but China, but they built the road. Now not everyone has access to that road. So it's the same with Zelensky, man. It's like you spent 200 billion, and what have you really accomplished? You accomplished what you done on the first day of that war. It really hurts me when we even talk about the Zelensky thing because we spent so much money on Zelensky, but black folks and Mexican folks at home are stealing at CVS. What do you call it? Smash and grabs at CVS, Walgreens, at grocery stores. Why are they doing that? Yeah, you always wonder, like, why are they doing it? Well, they're doing that because they don't have opportunity. Opportunity, like, good vocational opportunities, good jobs, good family life, good tradition. What happened to America in those things? If we had that, we won't be doing smash and grabs at that level. And some of these smash and grabs are probably mafia, or organized crime controlled. And especially around San Francisco. But it's just not fair that we um, have the friend video. It's canceled too. Wow. All right. You get a lot of cancellations in life. That's all about life. But anyhow, you know, so we spent so much money on another entity, and they're safety, security, and their longevity of their life. Why can't we spend that same money on the people who need it here in the States? You know, those people who are smashing and grab CVS, you always see that on social media. And why don't we come across and help those people? Obviously, they need help. We are so rich of a country. We give money out to a country that we have no influence over. We it doesn't. They don't have no oil, so I don't understand why and it's over a friendly enemy. I don't see Russia as ever hurting the United States, just like China. You know, China has no um, you know China would never attack the U.S. like how the U.S. attacked Japan, or other countries. China has nothing. China would never do that to the United States. They're not type of a country that would do that type of things like that. Um, and Russia also. Russia and the U.S. was basically um, at odd. They were ready to push the red buttons back in the '60s with the Kennedy, with JFK. And they never pushed it. We never pushed it because basically, you want to tell you the truth, we will never go to war with a white country. If I was in government, I would tell Zelensky and Putin, what are you guys doing? Two white countries fighting over what? You guys can't resolve that at the table. Big brother, little brother. Zelensky can't be the little brother here and say, hey, I can't have it all either. So I must let the big brother Putin have this until Putin dies or Putin gets out of office. Putin is in his 70s. He's not going to last forever. Zelensky's, I think he's in his 40s. Everybody has their time. Putin put in the work in the KGB. I don't know what Zelensky's thinking. Like, he has this young mentality that he's on top of the world too because he could ask other adversaries for money. That makes no sense. Yeah, like I want to be the head of my household, but I can't. My wife is. I don't understand that of people. If you want to have a peaceful coexistence, there's checks and balances and everything. You can't have everything go your way all the time. And so a lot of people have the Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. What is the Stockholm syndrome? Stockholm syndrome is like when you're hostage in a bank, like you agree with the hostages and you agree with the people holding up the bank with whatever they want to do, you do because you don't want to die. Basically, that's basically what Stockholm syndrome is. It's a movie on that from South Africa. If you go online and find the movie from South Africa and find that movie, you will understand the basis of Stockholm syndrome. And a lot of Americans, a lot of people now have Stockholm syndrome. Whatever I do, because I have the money, I have the power, I have the influence, you're also going to do. If you don't like it, you won't get a piece of that pie of that power, that influence, that money. You won't be likable among my team of people if I have that power, influence, and the money. So people are really should know their place in society. And a lot of that place in society is age. Zelensky is very young. He's gonna have his time, brother Zelensky. It's like, hey man, Putin's 30, 40, I don't know, 40 years, 30, but I think he's like 35 years. Like he's a whole maybe two generations ahead of Zelensky. God bless Ukraine, but you guys need to give it up. Like, and America too has to look at that too. It's like, hey man, we're spending all this money over there, but you got black folks, Mexican folks, and minority folks over here doing smash and grabs over Slurpee at 7-Eleven. And they don't even want us to do that. They can't even give us a Slurpee. It's like it's just a Slurpee, man. What Doritos? You gonna go just smash and grab Doritos after a sideshow? That makes no sense. And then people are gonna say, "Oh, it's black activity or black card or Mexican card." No, it's not that. Give these people in our own country opportunities before we go and help someone else that we don't even know or we don't even know the history of. So I just don't understand that. Let's help ourselves out before we go and help someone abroad that we don't even know and they don't even care for us anyway. Like Ukraine was a former state of the Soviet Union back in the 80s. The only why they broke up is because Russia was too big. Russia said, "Hey, we messed up in the Chernobyl accident because it was too many. It was too. It was. We were too big of a country. We were too successful, basically." If you really look at the Chernobyl movie, that really tells you right there that Russia was too successful because they were too big. Like you have to call Moscow for advice, and Moscow was busy with other states and stuff, other international issues. They didn't have time for the issues of the Chernobyl. Where is Chernobyl? Hey Chernobyl, where are you? You're almost like 10,000 miles away from Moscow. How can that help us out? Oh, what? There's a nuclear accident. Oh, wait, is radiation poisoning? Wait, hold on. Let me see what I'm talking about. Russia was too successful back then. That's why they broke up with Ukraine. They say, hey, Ukraine, you're gonna have to do stuff yourself down there. We're all the way 10, 15,000 miles away from Moscow, the capital. We can't do everything. So if you look at history and if you took history in see you take history in high school, you take history in college, you take history all like I think it's 2 years in college, 2 years in high school. If you look at the history, that Moscow or I mean Russia has was very successful with their government, and it shows right now. It really shows right now their government. Their government is very successful. They really help the people. If you go to Russia, there's no crime, although there is a I don't know how to say it, like a communist state that basically that you can't override. It's a total. I forgot the name. It starts with a T. Write it in the comments if you know. But it's a state that you know that the government's in control. So that's okay. Sometimes, you need a big boss hand. Just like China. China needs a big boss hand to say, hey, you can't do that. Like China, China has that, hey, you can't be doing this Tiananmen Square stuff in front of everybody, the whole world, you can't do that. Sometimes the government needs to intervene and do stuff like that. I agree on that. I agree with China. I agree with Russia that, because I agree with that because being a Black American, people or the human nature has too much choice. If you give them too much choice, you need to take away those choices because they could do whatever they want. And that do whatever they want will actually inflict harm on the society and themselves. So I believe in the Russian government. I believe in the Chinese government of how they, police their country and police their state. So I have even other governments around the world. You can't always have such a free because like look at America. Look how much political humor we have against our own president, like especially Obama. Like if you think of Obama, oh my gosh, it was so much like um, you can tell Obama is probably a virgin. Um, I'm not putting it on. He probably has never have an extramarital affair, or or done anything that's devious, because black folks, it's a higher echelon of policing than any other people. If the compare to a white person between a black person, you're always going to suspect a black person over a white person. So for even and people forget Obama is half white, half black, but his blackness overcomes his whiteness in your eyes. So eventually, that you could say Obama is a squeaky clean individual. That if he didn't, only thing they could probably get on him was his birth certificate from Hawaii, and Hawaii had to certify that, but that was the only thing that they had on him, was a because Hawaii at the time, I don't know the history of Hawaii when they became a state, and it's he went to school in America, but all right, it's cool. He was president 8 years. Let's just move on. You know, let's just move on. Yeah, you see how hard that is for America when someone has black skin. Is automatically rejection. It's automatically you're going to get in trouble. The policing is 10 times higher than a person with a white skin. Um, you know, when I was in school, like I was always getting in trouble because I had black skin. People always pick on me, and then when I fight back, I got in trouble. Yeah, I got in trouble because I wanted to protect myself and I didn't want to look weak in front of other people. So as soon as I fought back, so it was okay for them to pick on me, but wasn't okay for me to fight back. If someone go and punch me and I go and punch them back, so I get in trouble and they don't, that was a big problem. I had to learn, like, what, you don't fight back, you don't protect yourself, you don't bow down to aggression of bullies and stuff like that, or name calling. So it was really hard growing up with black skin, man. It's really a society issue. And and if you really think about people who have black skin, that means they've been here on earth longer than anyone else. If you really think about that, they've been they're the really native people of this earth. If you really think about it, the people who have white skin has been in the colder climates, and the people with black skin has been in the warmer climates. And at the warmer climates, what I'm getting here is, how do we know? Like, it's just amazing how we have so many different races around the world, how those races evolved, you know. So the people with black skin have been around the desert areas, but long time ago, the poles reversed. So I can hardly believe that we've been here this long. I really believe that we came from and we're breeded out from another civilization from, I won't get into that right now, but abroad from another solar system, basically. Because you can't tell me that we've been here 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 100,000 years. No, I don't kind of get that. Yeah, that's in the next video. But anyhow, yeah, a lot of things are going on in the earth right now, on the planet Earth. People are it's around Christmas time. We have our Christmas tree. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy Christmas. Basically, it's gonna be hopefully a good 2025 with with companies rebounding and rehiring. Hopefully, the economy will get good. It's been a rough couple of years after COVID. I can say to myself, yeah, like living in San Francisco, it was hard. Like, after March 2020, like people stopped meeting. Like, your friends were like cool after that, but you know, um, after that they stopped seeing it because they didn't want to get COVID. We were like in the 28 days later scenario. But hold that thought. Nature calls. But yeah, anyhow, I'll cut this short. Uh, we don't know what to talk about, but I'm retired. It's been a long week. Hopefully, so what's going on today? Friday the 13th. It's supposed to be a bad luck day, but you know, what's bad luck about Friday the 13th? Nothing really has happened on Friday the 13th. The most devastating day probably in U.S. history was September 11th. So pretty much it wasn't that bad of a day. But anyhow, we'll cut it short this time. We're a little bit tired. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Happy the Friday the 13th. China Mac out. God bless China Mac. Merry Christmas. Bon appetit.